Folks, real people, real issues right now. And we saw the story about a study showing that in 2007, 40% of this country's babies were born to unwed mothers. We were all shocked. But we figured, well, you know, these women likely are young, poor, inner city minorities, or white and rural. But the studies show that that the women come from all kinds of backgrounds and all ethnic groups. And many are having children out of wedlock by choice. So the question, is our view of family changing? Joining me to discuss this issue, Catholic League President William Donahue, and in Philadelphia, Kelly Williams of the blog SingleMamahood.com. And certainly want to thank both of you for being with us. Now, Bill, I want to start with you. I mean, what do you make of this? I mean, you know, if you got parents with means who have not met someone who they want to marry, what's the real issue with them having a child? A woman saying, I want to have a kid.
You know, our country is so saturated with sexuality and the interest of men and women. Children come first. Every single sociological study ever done shows that there's no substitute for a father and a mother. Not one parent, not two fathers or two mothers, a father and a mother. Now, we can't always have that. But quite frankly, this is driven by irresponsibility on the one hand and by narcissism on the others. It's what I want. And you have Angelina Jolie and Madonna walking around picking up their kids like as if they're a trophy, like a dog in a pony shop.
Here's a question from someone on Facebook, Dessa. She said, quote, who cares? Why must someone be married to have a child if they love and care for their children? Isn't that all that really matters? Isn't it?
No, it's not. I'll give you an example. I used to teach in Spanish Harlem, wonderful black and Puerto Rican kids. They struggled. Why? Because they came from one-parent families. In 1950, when blacks didn't have many rights in this country, the out-of-wedlock birth was 15%. It's 72% right now. I don't care that much about Angelina Jolie and these other Murphy Brown types. I'm concerned about the black girls who are in their teens, who are having kids out of wedlock. It's the greatest engine driving poverty. If you're interested in checking poverty, you've got to check the out-of-wedlock birth rate.
Kelly, what's interesting about this study is that, you know, black numbers held steady, but increase among Hispanics, increase among whites as well. And so your take on this study?
My take on this, really, Roland, is that it's good that people are talking about this. I think that I've been looking at these numbers for 10 years. I've been looking at this number since I wrote my first book to help single moms. And finally, now that people are seeing that this is something that we're looking at over the entire, you know, population in America, now people are paying attention. So perhaps now people will provide the kinds of resources that that these single moms need, that single moms who Mr. Donahue are talking about, those kinds of resources that those moms need in order to improve the situation for their children. Because he's absolutely right. It is not about us, it's about kids. Yes, Roland.
Kelly, I'm going to take a phone call here, but I want you to speak to the whole issue of stereotypes, and that is, how are we getting away from that? Because people might be thinking, as I said earlier, oh, it's just poor folks. It's a broad list of folks now.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, 22 years ago, when I gave birth to my son and I was unmarried, I would go to work with a ring on my finger. And there was a time when I was living with my son's father and we were not married, and I wanted people to think that I was married. But the fact is, there still are single moms, again, in that population that Mr. Donahue is talking about, single moms who I talk to in workshops. And when I ask those moms, hey, how many of you want your boys to become baby daddies? How many of you want your girls to become baby mamas? No one raises their hand. So it's not that single moms are out there, that population again that he's talking about, saying, oh, gee, you know, I want to have this is just something that I don't care about. These mothers care about their kids, and perhaps now people will put money into the resources that they have not been putting money into before because it didn't matter to them before.
Kelly, we're going to go to Garland, Texas, and the caller is Lori. Lori, you got 30 seconds. What's your comment, please?
My comment is that I'm an African-American woman myself. I'm married, and I think that the 72% population of women having children out of wedlock is showing that we're going to the precipice of disaster. I think it's selfish to purposely bring a child into the world and not be married. It's selfish to deprive children of a father in the home. And I think that it's not giving our children the proper role models that they need.
All right, Lori, we certainly appreciate that. Now, Bill, what about the women, though, again, who have means, who have a family infrastructure, but they haven't found a mate, but they want to have a child?
They're selfish. They're a problem to our society because you can't treat a child like it's a pet. It's in the interest of children to have a father and a mother. Look, the RAND study said last winter that the kids who are watching the most sexuality on TV are having the most sex. Now we know from a study in the University of Pittsburgh, the kids who listen to the most sexually explicit lyrics are having the most sex. We're concerned about smoking in society. You can't have smoking. You have to ban it. You have abstinence. We are sexually celebrating reckless sex, and then we wonder why the hell we have this problem. Why can't we figure it out?
Bill? You're too shy, Bill. Bill Donahue, I certainly appreciate it. Kelly Williams, thanks a bunch. We definitely have both of you back again. Folks, lots of things grow at the White House.